Making that last video on Vril kind of whetted my appetite to make a video on what was collectively called the Black Order of Germany or Black Order of Germanic Occultism in the 1980s and 1990s. And it was very prominent in U.S. satanic circles and Satanism. Particularly the LaVeyan branch of Satanism, and the LaVeyan branch of Satanism started shifting toward that type of system under the guidance of Zena LaVey, Zena Schreck now, and her then boyfriend slash husband slash whatever, Nicholas Schreck, her partner Nicholas Schreck. Now, of course, it all starts with Freemasonry, which started in London, and Rosicrucianism, and the Illuminati. Now, what I want to get into with this is what people don't understand about the Illuminati. The Illuminati was quite small and only existed in Bavaria, really, and was disbanded quite quickly. There are, however, three American branches that trace their lineage to the Bavarian order of the Illuminati, and they're more like fraternities. And I think what makes them so interesting to the general public, not really interesting to me, I just think they're baloney, just a bunch of rich kids having fun, or rich men having fun in one case. It's the Order of Skull and Bones, the Scroll and Key, which are two fraternities at Yale University. And then, of course, the Bohemian Club, and they do that cremation of care rite where they burn, I think it's, they burn the effigy and, whatever. It's a bunch of baloney as far as I'm concerned. But what makes it interesting, I think, to the general public is the very rich and powerful people that attend. Now, outside of Germany, you had Ordo Templi Orientis, which was also technically inside Germany, but Aleister Crowley revived it outside of Germany, and then it spread across the world. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which was, again, now remember, when I talk about these things, they're going to go both to the late 1800s and a little bit earlier in some cases, to the 1980s and 90s. And the reason why is because this form of occultism, this Germanic occultism, existed both prior to and after, as well as during the time that a certain political party rose to prominence in Germany, and then, of course, rose to prominence throughout Europe. So both before and after, as well as during, these things were going on. So you have Ordo Templi Orientis, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and the AA, or Great White Brotherhood. All three of these centered in Britain, or Britain and France, or Britain and the United States. Or, in some cases, with Aleister Crowley, Britain and Italy. Remember that Aleister Crowley, if you read the Confessions of Aleister Crowley, was invited by Benito Mussolini to, quote, well, not quote, but he was invited by Benito Mussolini to get the hell out of Italy and take his weird crap with him. I'm a fan of Aleister Crowley, but I'm also a fan of Benito Mussolini. I don't know. I'm crossed between the two of them there. Then there's, within Germany, at this time, you have the creation of the Vril Society, the Thule Society, or Thule Society, and after that political party rose to power, the Ahnenerbe, which was basically the combination of the Thule Society and the Vril Society into a state-sanctioned ancestral heritage thing where they would fund research, and a lot of the research was baloney, where they claimed to find Nordic runes on a rock in Italy, which proved somehow that Rome was somehow actually founded by Nordic Scandinavians. There's no evidence of that. It's just nonsense. And then there's philosophies and occult systems that make up Germanic occultism. There are many, many, many of these, okay? So you have Anthroposophy. You have Anthroposophy was, of course, founded by Rudolf Steiner. Okay, Ariosophy and Armanism, which was, of course, founded by Guido von List. Western esotericism, which goes back to, the ancient Greeks, Romans, and Egyptians. Spiritualism, which came about mostly in the United States during the time of the Civil War. Theosophy, which was founded by Helena Blavatsky, and again, predominantly in the United States, although she was Ukrainian. Existentialism, Nietzscheism, Darwinism, and Thelema, as well as later LaVeyan Satanism, and especially the brew of LaVeyan Satanism known as the Werewolf Order. Now, who are important figures in Germanic occultism? Okay. Originally, you have people like Guido von List, Anton Drexler, George Lanz von Liebenfels, Friedrich Nietzsche, Helena Blavatsky, Rudolf Steiner, Aleister Crowley, and then later you get people like Edgar Cayce, Savitra Devi, James Mason, Boyd Rice, Charles Manson, Nicholas Schreck, Michael Aquino. These are all important figures to this form of occultism. Their main holy site would be Wewelsburg Castle. Important artifacts that have been found for this form of occultism include, but of course are not limited to, the solid gold cauldron that they're claiming was a fake. It was not a fake. It was a recreation for occult purposes. It has a depiction of Carnunos, who is a Celtic god, a horned god on it, and the Spear of Destiny, which was allegedly the spear that was used by Longinus to pierce the side of Christ during the crucifixion. I'm doubtful of the last one. So what's my view on Germanic occultism? Is it not just a patchwork of random stuff that doesn't go together? Some might think that. I think the closest it came to becoming unified and tangible was under the direction of Nicholas Schreck and Zena LeVay in the 1980s and 90s, which quickly fizzled out, unfortunately. I think that James Mason and Boyd Rice's group, while they were working with Radio Werewolf under Nicholas and Zena Schreck, or the Werewolf Order, I think that was a unique foursome there that was working for something very, 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 very interesting. And of course, Michael Aquino, who I forgot to mention. Michael Aquino is another important figure, the founder of the Temple of Set. He also held a ritual in Wewelsburg Castle in I believe in his U.S. service uniform. I think that it's important to understand that my views on this are that it's baloney after I spent a lot of time researching this and implementing it. For example, remember how I said that it's heavily influenced by Kabbalah and Western esotericism. When I was younger, I'd say about 17, I started redoing the Golden Dawn style rituals and the Crowleyan rituals. For example, I would change it from the Hebrew to English, such as instead of Ata, Malkut, Vigabura, Vigadula, Elohim, Amen, which is the self-blessing known as the Kabbalist's cross, I changed it to be it to the heavens, be it to the seas, for I am the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen. Now, that's my version of the Kabbalistic cross. I also implemented, instead of the banishing and invoking by the pentagram, I created a ritual called the banishing and invocation. Well, these are separate rituals. The first ritual was the banishing by the swastika, and the second one was the invoking by the swastika. Banishing by the swastika used a clockwise motion swastika, which would, of course, be pushing out, and, of course, invoking by the swastika would use a counterclockwise swastika, as is popular on the flag of that particular group in Germany, because that turns counterclockwise and would pull toward. Now, I believe this is all baloney. I spent a lot of time practicing magic. I practiced magic for quite a long time. Not only did I practice magic, but I originated my own system of what I would call Germanic occultism for cultural reasons, although it was more Celtic in ways. But you have to remember the Celtic cauldron that was found in the lake, the solid gold Celtic cauldron, which was obviously used for occult reasons by the Anunnaki. Okay, so the thing is, I guess what I'm saying is, what I'm putting out there is, this crap is more or less a waste of time, and I found that out through studying it. Now, studying occultism, studying magic, studying things like the Golden Bough, studying these things, occultisms and all this stuff, I think it does help one to grasp things like religion better. I do think that when you see things with a magician's eyes after you've studied magic, for example, when I read the books of Ellen G. White, or the books of John Harvey Kellogg, I read them with magician's eyes. When I reread the Bible, I read that with magician's eyes. You see things differently after practicing, particularly Talima. And that's what I would like to say. That's how I would like to end this video. And the links are in the description. I encourage people to follow the links. They will help you gain a better grasp of the things mentioned in this video. And that's all for this video.